Latest addition to this franchise is about to hit theaters, so hell yeah, let's do it. 28 Days Later opens up with this group of 3 animal rights activists, and they infiltrate this lab where they're testing on chimps. They're about to free the chimps when this scientist comes in and is like, they're infected with rage. Do not let them out. We're trying to find a cure. These people just straight up ignore them and let the chimps out anyway, and they just start attacking them. The chimp attacks one of the activists, and within seconds, she also becomes infected and gets this rage and just starts attacking everybody else. So essentially, because these idiots didn't listen to this guy, they just started the fucking apocalypse. We then cut to 28 days later where we meet our main character, Jim. So Jim was in a bicycle accident that landed him in a coma, and when he wakes up in the hospital, nobody's around. It's completely deserted. As are the streets of London, so he's wandering around wondering what the fuck just happened, and he sees all these newspaper articles about evacuations and the virus. So Jim ends up wandering into this church where he comes across just a bunch of corpses. As he's looking around, he comes across the priest who is infected, and he just starts coming at him. A bunch of other infected also show up, and they all start chasing Jim through the streets. Jim ends up getting rescued by this girl Selena and this guy Mark, and they take him to this shop that they've been hiding out in. And that's where they explain to him what happened. This virus broke out, spread rapidly, there's no more government, your family's probably all dead. Jim doesn't fully believe that, so he tells them he's gonna walk on foot to his parents' house to go see if they're still there. Lena and Mark decide to go with him, and sadly when he gets there, he discovers that his parents committed suicide together and they died in their bed holding a photo of him with a message on the back saying, "We hope you don't wake up, like we'll see you on the other side." So the 3 of them decide to spend the night at the house, but as night falls, an infected sees their candle and just straight up busts through the window and attacks them. They manage to fight him off, and Selena asks Jim if he got bitten or if he got any blood in his mouth, and he didn't. But when she turns to Mark, she sees that he's been infected, and she immediately kills him without a second thought. She literally tells Jim, like, I'll do the same to you if you're infected. I don't give a fuck. So Selena and Jim carry on, and they see this sign at the top of an apartment building, so they go in and start to climb the stairs. And they are attacked by this horde of infected up the stairs, and Selena just straight up leaves Jim behind. She's like, goodbye, you're slowing me down. But eventually they're saved by this guy named Frank, who takes the 2 of them back to his apartment, where he also lives with his young daughter, Hannah. Well, Frank is basically like, we've run out of supplies, we all need to help each other out, and I've heard this military broadcast. Basically, this military is offering protection and a blockade outside of Manchester. So the next day, the 4 of them set out to find this blockade, and it's not just simple. Of course, they run into a bunch of infected in a tunnel. The 4 of them grow closer on the journey there, which is what makes this next part really hurt. They get to the blockade and they find that it's deserted, and Frank is just pissed. He loses it. So Frank, in his anger, is looking up at this crow, and he kicks the gate that it's on, and it causes a drop of blood to fall from the gate into his eyeball, and he becomes infected immediately. His last words are telling Hannah that he loves her and to stay away from him. So Jim is about to kill him, but instead Frank is shot by military officers who are indeed there. The soldiers bring Jim, Selena, and Hannah to this mansion that they're using as their, fortress. The person in charge is this dude West, and there's just a bunch of other guys there. So they show the group around, including showing them their colleague that had gotten turned by the virus about a week prior, and they're keeping him on a chain to kind of experiment on him. They have dinner and everything seems okay until they get really weird towards Selena. And Jim finds out that this whole thing was a fucking front and it was used to lure women in so that they could essay them and repopulate. So Jim won't go along with this, and he tries to go and warn Selena and take her and Hannah away, but West orders his men to kill him. And there's this other soldier that wouldn't go along with it as well, so West orders that they both be killed and they're taken out to the woods. So 2 soldiers bring them out to the woods and shoot the other guy, but then start to argue, which allows Jim a distraction to escape. He is now shirtless and like a feral animal. He's fucking pissed. So Jim goes back and manages to kill a soldier that's on watch and infiltrate the fortress, and the first thing he does is release the infected soldier that they've had chained up. As this is happening, inside, the soldiers are getting Selena and Hannah dressed and ready to essay like the sick fucks they are. At this point, Jim has lured West away from the mansion and set off a siren. The other soldiers hear it and go to see what's going on, and absolute fucking chaos ensues. Because between Jim and this infected motherfucker, they just start taking these guys out one by one. Eventually, Jim finds one of the soldiers trying to SA Selena. Jim, again being a feral animal at this point, jumps on top of him and kills him so brutally. Selena thinks that Jim must be infected and she almost kills him, but stops when she realizes that he's normal. He's just insane. So he saved her. The two of them kiss, they grab Hannah, and the three of them get the fuck out of Dodge. So the three of them go to get in a car, but it turns out this bitch West was hiding in the back seat, and he sits up and shoots Jim in the stomach. Hannah's in the driver's seat and she's done with this shit, so she straight up reverses the car straight into the infected soldier, who proceeds to pull West out and kill him. Selena gets Jim into the car and the three of them drive off into the night. We then cut to another 28 days later and we see that Selena tended to Jim's wound and he survived it. Jim, Selena, and Hannah are now living in this remote little cottage on this island, and we see that the infected are slowly dying of starvation around them. And then one day, Hannah runs in to alert them that the plane is coming. The three of them run outside and they quickly unravel this banner onto the ground that says hello. And they wave and smile at the plane, and we're left to wonder if they ever stopped for them and if they were ever rescued, and the movie ends.